Today is the start of Spook-a-thon. I was able to finish my Keeper of the Lost Cities book late last night, so I'm really excited to start some creepier reads. And I did choose my first one last night, but I didn't really start reading it. I read the first chapter, but I think I'm gonna reread it just because it's kind of a book you have to focus on. But I did decide to pick up Winterwood from Shira Onshore. I got this arc last year at BEA, and it sounds like the perfect creepy read, which I'm so excited about. Again, I said this in my TBR. This book is a lot shorter. A couple of the books on my TBR are really, really short this year, so hopefully I can finish a majority of them. I know nothing about this book. I know that it's set in a wood, there is a ghost element, and there is a female main character. All I know. I know that I was super, super impressed with The Wicked Deep. I loved it. I thought it was such a solid read. And I read it in a car ride. So I was really invested in the story. But yeah, so I have to go to my physical therapy for my knee. I'm gonna come home, probably grab something to eat, and then do a bunch of cleaning and organizing. We changed over my entire fall wardrobe yesterday. So I need to put stuff away. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna hopefully make some serious progress on Everless by Sarah Holland, and then I will come back on and I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna read. But I'm definitely gonna get some Christmas crafting done today because I'm a little bit farther behind on that than I would normally like. So yeah, this might be the day that I read the least. But I'm hoping to at least knock out a bunch of this book today. I'm gonna take a couple hours in the middle of the day and just craft. But yeah, I'll check back in when I come home. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Here, I just came back from seeing my cousin, and my room looks like legit a bomb hit it. So I'm gonna give it some attention today. I do have off today. It's 1:17, so I'm going to try to change over all my wardrobe. I just finished Everless by Sarah Holland. I really did like that book. I thought the world building was super, super well crafted and super interesting. When I read it the first time, I definitely gave it 5 stars, and that still counts. So I'm going to go choose my next audiobook while I'm cleaning, and I think I'm going to choose Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young, because that's the book for the Time Warp YA book club. And I did read literally not a lot. I think I read 2 chapters of Winterwood by Shira Onshore, so now I'm on page 18. I don't feel comfortable enough giving my thoughts because I really haven't read enough, but when I read it more tonight, I'll definitely give you guys an update. My plan is to do some cleaning up until 3, craft for a little bit until 7, and then read for the rest of the evening. But I'll be sure to check back in when I get around to reading, and update you guys on how I'm enjoying Sky in the Deep, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I am back. It's just about to be 5:30, and I did all the errands I had to do. I cleaned my whole room, well, kind of cleaned my whole room. I switched out all my clothes. I Christmas crafted a little bit. If you want to see what the Christmas crafts look at, go look on my Instagram because I posted a photo. And I'm about to dive back in to Winterwood by Shira Onshore. This morning I got up to page 18, and I really just want to read some more and get a good feel for it. As I said in my Spook-a-thon TBR, this book is super short, so I really hope that I can tackle it. I'm going to watch some booktube videos, and then I'm going to move on to a TV show, but I will update you guys when I feel like I have a solid understanding of what's going on. I didn't read the back of this book because I wanted to go in kind of blind, but when I make a little bit more progress, I will definitely update you guys. Talk to you guys in a bit. Claire here, I'm back. I just want to do a small update. I get up to page 30 in Winterwood by Shira Onshore. I feel a little bit more comfortable giving you guys a synopsis now. Basically, it's following this character named Nora. She lives in a wood that has some mystical properties. She is from a family of witches, but she thinks she has the least amount of powers of anyone. And about 2 weeks ago, before the story starts, a storm came in that kind of took out power in her little town, and a young boy from a school across the way went missing. So 2 weeks later, she's walking in the woods, and she finds him still alive. And we're alternating between his perspective and her perspective. He's very, very much convinced right now that she's a witch, and she is just trying to keep him safe at this moment. So I really am interested in this book, and it's definitely a creepy setting. It's very, very creepy. It's set in this. This would be a great read to read during winter time, when you're in the middle of a snowstorm, I think. But I'm gonna keep reading, and I'll check back in with you guys when I make a bit more progress. Guys, Lori here. I'm back. I just wanted to do a mini check-in. It is almost 8 o'clock, and I read about up to page 64 in Winterwood by Shara Onsler. This book is very similar to the structure of Wicked Deep, and I'm really enjoying it. This book definitely has ghost vibe feels, and I'm really liking the characters in this, both characters especially. And I'm loving the character of Nora. I think her past is really interesting, and I'm really curious to see where this book goes. Um, there's a lot of like mystery elements, so I'm curious to see like what Oliver's character becomes in the story. Like I think he might I have a couple of predictions like what he might be. But it's really a very, very fast read. So I'm gonna go back to read and I'll check in a little bit with you guys. Bye. Up to page 78 of Winterwood. And I have to admit, I'm really intrigued to see what happens to Oliver because I've watched a few movies in the past that have kind of had a very specific trope, and I'm just curious to see if this is going to go in here. I hope it doesn't because I think Shara Onsler can write like a very like effective mystery, especially with the Wicked Deep. Like I was blown away with that. And they are having like elements of like a spell book in here too, so I'm wondering how that's gonna connect because that was a big part of in the Wicked Deep. The supplement material played a very big part in the mystery of that book. So, but I'm really curious. Like, it's a very small cast of characters, like a very small cast of characters. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm just curious. I don't want to say my thoughts because if I'm right, I don't want to spoil the book for anyone. But like, I'm just curious. I'm curious to see where this book goes, what happens. But it's definitely a very eerie mystery that I think would be perfect for the winter time because it's set around like a snowstorm, and it's also set around like would be very good for fall because it's like a creepy wood and there's possibly like a murder mystery going on. So I'm really liking it, and I can't wait to keep reading. Actually, that's what I'm gonna go do. I'm back. It is Tuesday night. I will admit I didn't sleep the best last night. My sleep schedule has been really off since Comic-Con, especially with like having a day off and then having to go back the next day. It has just been a little bit of a struggle, so my focusing after work has just been a little bit more troublesome, which is upsetting because it's Spook-a-thon and I really do want to read. And I really am loving my book. But I did get to page 150 of Winterwood. I also listened to 3 chapters of Sky in the Deep, 1 chapter, and I'm in the middle of 1 chapter of one of the Harry Potter books. I think it's I'm listening to 2 at the same exact time. So I just finished 1 in Deathly Hallows and I'm about to start 1 in Order of the Phoenix. But I really am enjoying this book. I really am convinced that my twist idea is totally going to happen. And I'm about like 47% done with this book. What I would love is to focus a little bit more and be able to finish this tonight, but I don't know if that's doable, honestly. But I really am enjoying it. It's very eerie, very, very creepy. It's set in like winter in like a haunted cabin. There's ghost elements. It's just really, really fun. It's a really, really creepy, sinister read. I'm liking the both point of views, and I'm really liking the extra element in it as well. There was one also in Wicked Deep that I really liked. So I'm going to dive back into reading. I hope I'll be able to check in before I go to bed, just depending on how exhausted I am. But talk to you guys later. Back. It's just about to be 8:15. And I have some thoughts about this book. Ever since I watched a couple of movies when like I was super younger, I'm always pay really close, especially in like mysteries and thrillers. I always pay really close attention to who characters interact with. So this book is really interesting because the cast gets bigger like as the book goes on, but the characters really only interact with like one character. So I have some questions. I'm curious if this book is going to go in the direction I'm kind of predicting it's going to go in. But interaction in this book is super interesting. Like, and it's funny because you have one point of view that you follow like the Nora's chapters are a lot longer than Oliver's chapters. So like, I don't know. I want to know if I'm right. Like, I want to know if this book's gonna go that way. I wouldn't shock me for sure Anshar to do a totally weird twist and go in a totally different direction, but the interactions with the characters are making me think, or lack of interactions, if that makes any sense. I don't want to be too spoilery because I might be wrong and then I might be right. Um, but yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm paying really close attention to who characters interact with in this book. So I'm gonna keep reading and I'll check back in if I make any more progress before I go to bed. This is not the best lighting, but I'm a little bit lazy to get up. So I just want to do a small check-in. I did get up to page 204 of Winterwood by Shara Anshaw. I don't know where this book's gonna go. Like, I have like 17 different ideas about potentially what can happen in the last 150 pages or the 120 pages in this book, and I really don't know. I think the setting is super cool. I'm loving the dynamics between the characters. I love the elements that separate the chapters. But honestly, I really have no idea what is going to happen in this book, and I do not want to put it down, so I'm not. I am watching some much older Spook-a-thon TBR videos and getting some ideas. But I'm going to go back and read, and I will update you guys if I make any more severe progress or if I wind up finishing it. I doubt I'll finish it tonight, but I might get pretty close. So I'll keep you guys updated. Lori here. I just want to do a quick update. I did get up to page 230 in Winterwood, and I am really curious to see how this book ends. I'm really curious to see the identities of all these characters and who these characters really are. There's one element in this book that I'm curious to see how she's going to resolve it. I'm really curious. Like, I think it's a really interesting setting, and I think it's a really interesting story. I think the twists in Wicked Deep were a little bit more, they happened very, very clearly by now. This one is not that clear, so I think my rating will definitely depend on the end and how the story ends. But I'm really liking it, and I don't want to put it down. So I think I'm probably about 70% done. So I'm gonna see it's around 9:30. But I would like to read a little bit more, and if I before I go to bed, I'll definitely update you guys. But I'm curious. I'm really curious to see how this story is going to wrap up. Lori here. I'm just checking back in. I did get up to 272 in Winterwood by Shara Anshaw. I will admit, this book did kind of go as I predicted. That's why I'm really happy I didn't spoil you guys in the book, because it did go as I predicted. I will say this shocking twist, we have maybe 50 pages left of this book. It was not as surprising as Wicked Deep, but I love the setting. I love the characters. I love the elements to the story, and I think it just, because I have read something or experienced something a little bit similar to this, it didn't have the overwhelming impact as I was expecting it to have. But the last 20 pages might wow me, so I'm not gonna give you guys my review right now. But it definitely, the story, mystery, and plot twist was not as shocking as The Wicked Deep. But I'm really impressed with the setting, and I really like her writing. I think she's a very, very fast-paced writer. Very, very creepy, very, very eerie. Again, this would be a great read for a snowstorm. Perfect. But yeah, I will probably check in tomorrow, and I'm definitely going to be reading a new book tomorrow because I will definitely finish this on the train. But yeah, that is my thoughts, and I'm actually going to go get my books ready for tomorrow, so I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. It's Lori here. I'm back. I just wanted to do a small update that I did wind up finishing Winterwood by Shara Anshaw. I will admit, this book, I love the setting. I love the character dynamics. I really enjoyed that element of it. The mystery, however, I felt like I totally called the mystery. I called some elements of the mystery, from midway through the book. So I think the world and the setting I loved, and I think I preferred the world and the setting to the Wicked Deep setting. but I think I preferred the Wicked Deep Mystery to this mystery. So I'd probably give it like, for the mystery, I would probably give it like 2.5, 3 stars. The setting, I would honestly give 5 stars, so I'll probably give the book like 4 stars. The pacing was weird at points too. Like, I felt like the pacing was like a little bit awkward. And for a 300-page book, it took me a while to read it. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And then I just picked up Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. I got up to page 74 in this. This one takes place in Paris. The first one takes place in Scotland. This is follows Cassidy Blake and her ghost friend Jacob. But yeah, it has massive print. So I am going to go read a little bit more because I'm on page 75 and I would like to read a little bit more before I update you guys on my thoughts. But so far, I'm really liking it as a sequel and loving Paris as a setting. I went to Paris when I was a little bit younger, so I know a lot of the places that they're talking about. And I really do like Cassidy as a character. So I will talk to you guys in a little bit for an update. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm just checking back in for Tunnel of Bones. This is my second book of the readathon, and this is a book that has red on the cover and also a spooky word in the title. So I did get up to page 128. As I said before, this book is set in Paris. This is the second book to the City of Ghosts series by Victoria Schwab. And I'm really liking this one. I think I like this book a little bit more than the first one. But they are in Paris and they have encountered a poltergeist. And they are trying to identify why he is stalking them. And he's a little bit of a dangerous poltergeist, and accidents have happened. And they are hot on the trail of the poltergeist, him and her best friend, Jacob. Jacob's character arc is getting super interesting. In the end of the book, I had a feeling something was going to happen to Jacob. And I'll be curious to see if my prediction comes true. I'm about 50% done with this book, and it's so fast. So I really am just going to dive in and read as much as I can tonight. And I will check back in and let you guys know my thoughts. Just checking back in. It's 8:30. And I did wind up making a little bit more progress on Tunnel of Bones. I'm now on page 181. I do like that this book has like a hint of a mystery, and I'm actually liking it. It kind of deals with the past. Her and Jacob's relationship is getting a little bit more interesting. And I still do like that the characters that we met in book 1, but are not currently in Paris, we still do see them. And I really like that. And I'm curious to see if more children are going to play a role in this book. But yeah, I will say this, it's not as complicated as a world as I'm like used to in fantasy. But even for normally like middle grade, it's a very, very simplistic world, but one that is really fun to read about. And I think that this book is a little bit more spooky than the first one, which I'm really enjoying. It is like a cold, rainy, the wind is howling through my windows, so it's such a nice book to read during that. But yeah, I'm on page 181, and this book ends on like almost 300. So I'm going to go back to read, and I will check in with you guys in a little bit. Bye. Hopes did come true. We did get a few more live children in this book, which I always do like. I think the dynamics of a trio of characters are some of my favorites in middle grade stories because I like the balance. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Definitely is more like a 3.5 star read right now. But I'm definitely enjoying it a little bit more than the last story. But yeah, that's my thoughts right now. I am about on page 190. But yeah, I'm going to keep reading. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Guys, I'm just checking back in. I just wanted to say that I did wind up finishing Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. This was a super fast-paced read, like really, really fast. I really enjoyed it. Definitely like a 3-star read for me. I do like this series. I really love the setting of Paris. I love the dynamics between her and Jacob in this book. We actually got a lot more information about Jacob in the story, which I actually really enjoyed. There was some heartfelt moments at the end that really like made me tear up because I really liked it. I thought it was a very nice twist that they gave us. The ending was very, very shocking, so I'm excited to see like what happens and where the story goes. I really love the setting of Paris in this as well. But the mystery was very different from the previous mystery, which I really enjoyed. I will say this, the world building I think is super simplistic. And I think for like a younger reader, I think it would be great because it's not super complicated. But for me, I just want a little bit more out of it. So that's why I only wound up giving it a 3-star. But I'm definitely excited to keep reading this series. I think the highlight of this series is definitely the new settings, and also the Jacob and Cassidy, but also the new characters that we meet. I did get my trio of characters for a part of this book that I really liked. But yeah, that's my thought on Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. Now, I'm definitely deviating from my TBR, and one of the reasons is because I just watched Sally review this book in her September Owl Crate Jr. unboxing. So, I don't know what this is about. I have no idea. I know it's about two characters that go on like a wild and crazy adventure. I know there's like a hotel. So I might wind up reading this, or I might wind up reading The Apprentice Witch. I am going to a book signing tomorrow with Renee Adier, so I'm going to bring both of these and see what I wind up wanting to read. It just depends. So when I come back on Friday, I will let you guys know what I wound up starting reading and if I made any progress. This one is definitely like an adventure story, and I'm sure it's a little bit creepy, fun-filled seaside mystery series from an exciting new fantasy voice. So it's a mystery series, and this is all about a witch that unfortunately fails her witching exam, I think. So they both seem kind of creepy, and I'm really excited to dive in, and I don't know which book I'm going to start, but when I know, I will let you guys know on Friday. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey, it's Lori here. I just want to do a small check-in. I didn't wind up checking in yesterday because I went to the beautiful event with Renee Adier, and I really liked that event. I wound up picking up a copy of Beautiful and a copy of The Winner's Curse by Maria Rakotsky. That will be in a future book haul whenever I want to posting it. But today at school, I did wind up finishing Malamander by Thomas Taylor. I heard about this on Owl Crate Jr. because I think it was in their September box, I think. And honestly, I found it to be such a compelling read. I found it to be such a solid mystery. I will admit I did miss like the other illustrations, but the illustrations in this book were super interesting. Basically, I follow these two characters. Herbie, who works at this hotel as like a lost and find expert, and this girl named Violet, who was in the past, she was wound up being left at the hotel, like abandoned at the hotel, and she's on an adventure to find her parents. And there is a machine in this world that a monkey will give you a reading recommendation, which you need right now in your life. And their reading recommend leads them to uncover the myth of the Malamander. But I really love the town of Erie. I thought that this was such a creative book to read during the holiday, during like the season in the fall. This is set in winter. I really liked the dynamic between the characters. I just thought it was such a fun read. I have deviated from my TBR just a little bit for Spook-a-thon, but I am also participating in another readathon next week. But the next book I wanted picking up was Mooncakes by Wendy Zhu and Suzanne Walker. I've heard so many things about this book. I actually got this book signed for me from Books of Wonder. But I'm just going to read you guys the backs. One fateful night, a teen witch, Nova, reports of a white wolf in the woods and discovers her childhood crush, werewolf Tumbling Hank battling a horse demon. Now, against the backdrop of a slowly rekindling romance, Tam and Nova must investigate the dark supernatural forces eager to claim wolf magic for evil. So I'm really excited to dive into this read for sure. I don't read graphic novels a lot. So for the purposes of this challenge, I am going to say that this is something that I don't read a lot. But I really am liking it. So just to recap, at the filming of this recording, I did wind up finishing Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab, and that wound up covering the challenges for Red on the Cover and a book with a spooky word in the title. A spooky place was Winterwood because it's set in like a Winterwood. This would I actually classify as a mystery. It's definitely a young adult mystery, but it would definitely qualify as a mystery. And then this book would say for something that I don't read very often. I think I'm missing one challenge, so I'm going to go back and investigate that. But I am super excited to dive into this at some point this evening. I have to do some grading, but when I do start reading Mooncakes, I'll definitely come back and check in. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Check back in and say the only challenge I have not completed as of yet, once I finish this, is to read a thriller. So I might, after I finish this, try to find a thriller, but I don't have any ones on my current TBR. So once I finish reading this, I might try to go find a thriller. I have a bunch in my room. I just have to find it. So small check-in, but I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. It's Lori here. I'm just checking back in. I spent about 4 hours grading all of my students' work. Report card season is upon us soon, and I remember last year I was so overwhelmed and I did not know what I was doing, so I'm trying to prep myself as much as I can and every day do a different type of grading, which is not what I normally do. So tomorrow I'm going to move on to a different type, but enough about school. Let's get into the books. I'm about to dive into Mooncakes by Wendy Wu and Suzanne Walker. I know this is about a witch and a werewolf. This cover is so cute. I'm just going to show you some pictures. This art style is really, really cute. I'm really excited to dive into this read, and I'm going to go read. So, if I make a substantial amount of progress, I thought I was going to be able to finish this book tonight, but I don't know. It's over 200 pages, so that might not be doable, but I am going to go read, and when I make a little bit of progress, I'll definitely check back in. Bye. Woke up. It's 8:19 on Saturday, October 19th. I wound up falling asleep last night really, really early. My room was so cold last night. My space heater broke, so my room was very, very chilly. But I did wind up making a little bit of progress on Mooncakes by Wendy Zhu and Suzanne Walker. Wanted to give you guys a little bit more of an update because I didn't really update you guys before. This book follows a witch and a werewolf. This book has a lot of diversity. Tam is the werewolf. Actually, they are the werewolf. This book has a lot of diversity. Tam, guess is like a transgendered character, maybe, possibly. That's what it's looking like at the moment. And the witch, Nova, has hearing aids. And they're trying to solve a problem about a demon that has come into their town. Tam just came back and is now in town for a little while. They were friends when they were younger. I hope that there's some romantic elements that develop. But right now I'm on page 44. Oh my god, guys. This art style is stunning. It reminds me a lot of The Princess and the Dressmaker. I love that art style a lot. This art style, again, is really, really nice, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to read a little bit more. I have to go to yoga today. I have to do a lot more grading. But I hope to get some massive reading done today as well. That is the plan. But I'll definitely update you guys maybe before I leave. But yeah, so talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. It's just about to be 12:30. I just got back. I just got my owl crate back, so I'm going to go unbox that for a different video. But I wanted to check back in and say that I did wind up finishing Mooncakes by Wendy Zhu and Suzanne Walker. This book was so cute. I think the art style was definitely the highlight. The diversity in this was definitely the highlight. I really liked the dynamics between the characters. I love the world. I would up giving this 4 stars. With the title, I was expecting one thing to happen and it didn't. I would really be curious if we're going to get like a sequel to this. But yeah, I really liked it. I think the art style is honestly so gorgeous. And I just found it to be so cute. I really like the diversity. There was so much diversity in this book, and I was really just impressed with it. So I wound up giving it 4 stars. And this was a book for something that I don't often read. I don't often read graphic novels. I've been getting into them a little bit more. And I did realize I did have a thriller on my TBR after all, and that is Mind Games by Shannon Silver. I just started. I'm about 24 pages in, and this is set in a science fiction world where memories can be sold, bought, and traded. And you follow this lead girl named Arden. She sells memories. She has an illegal business on the side. She goes to this high-tech high school, and she's in line to win a major competition. But she wakes up one morning and realizes that most of her memories are gone, and she can't remember someone who everyone else remembers. And I have a feeling they're going to start working together to solve this problem, but so far it's really good. The pacing is really interesting, and again, it's not that long of a book, so I'm hopeful that I'll be able to tackle it relatively easily this weekend. But I'm going to go unbox my Owl Crate unboxing, and when I do get to read for the rest of the day, I will come back in and check back in. Talk to you guys in a bit. I'm here to do my Owl Crate unboxing for the month of October, and this month's theme was science fiction. And for the first time in I don't know how long, I don't know what the book is. And there's 2 books, and I don't know what either of them are. That never, ever happens with Owl Crate. So, mind you, I'll get the book, and I'm like, oh, obviously. But right now, really have no idea what this book is. What both books are. So, this will be very exciting. So, this is the card. I don't want to look at anything because I really don't want to be spoiled. Ooh. Oh, I love these boxes. These boxes are nice. Yes, I love these boxes. I have one from The Cruel Prince. This is based on the Illuminate File series. Oh my god, this is so pretty. Until the last time the galaxy dies, you'll have me. And on the back it says, live a life worth dying for. And on the inside it's, you might get only one shot, so shoot. Oh my god, this box is so pretty. I love these boxes so much. I can't wait to use this with and the side is so pretty. Oh my god, this is so pretty. This is definitely one of my favorite items to date. Oh my god, I cannot wait to use this with my my photos with that book series because I really do love that book series. Next thing that I'm seeing, ooh, is this a new necklace? I would like that. Oh, this is so pretty. Oh my god, it is gorgeous. It's like a moon necklace. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, and it's like, oh my goodness, I love that. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, this box is blowing me away. I'm definitely gonna wear that this month. Oh, I'm so excited. The next thing I'm seeing is magnetic bookmark for Caftan. I don't know any of these characters. I'm sure when I look it up, it will make it a little bit more obvious. But they're so cute. I love that little animal. I will let you guys know at the end what it's all from because, everything science fictions until someone makes it science fact. That's really cool. This is a new sticker. I have a little collection of stickers that I've been waiting to put on stuff. So, yeah. The next thing I'm seeing, we have 2 pins for both books. But I'm really excited for this as well. And the first book is I Hope You Get This Message by Farah Nazi's. And I actually did get an arc of this one. I didn't even think of that. But this is about the world's about to end, and they have like 3 days to make up their mind. But that is so cool. I love this cover option too, which means that when I do, I'll probably wind up doing a giveaway for the arc that I got from New York City Comic Con. But that is so cool. This book cover is really, really nice. And the next book is shockingly one I did not get at BEA last year. And that is The Crier's War. And if I'm remembering correctly, this is Impossible Love Between 2 Girls, 1 Human, 1 Maid, a love that could birth a revolution. And this is one that Epic Read was giving out. I didn't wind up getting it, but it sounded really interesting. And now I have it to read. I don't think we have... Okay. So next book is The Enchanted Pharmacist. Every November box will include a reading planner in collaboration with Blue Star Press. So they are doing the planner for the November box, which I love my planner so much from last year. So I'm really excited. I'm definitely getting that box, even though I do already have the book and I've actually already read it. But yeah, this box was awesome. Oh my god, I cannot wait to use. Oh, I want to tell you guys what everything is from in case I forgot. Let's see. This was from Stella Book Art, and it's based on the Illuminate files. The Lunar Chronicles necklace is one that I definitely adored. Um, um, and magnetic book. Oh, and the bookmarks are based on Saga. And then there's 2 pins based on the books. And I love this sticker too. I'm really looking at where to put my stickers, honestly, because I have so many of them. I got quite a few from a couple of the recent boxes. But I really, really enjoyed this box. I can't wait to add these to my TBR. And I'll talk to you guys next month for another unboxing to show you guys that awesome planner in the November box. Talk to you guys later. Bye. I'm just checking back in. It is much later than I was planning on it. But I did get I actually ended work, schoolwork, a lot earlier than I normally do. So I actually spent the last couple of hours, I cleaned a little bit. I did all my blog posts for the next week. I'm going to go take a quick shower because it's freezing cold in my room and a nice hot shower will warm me up a little bit. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to dive into Mind Games. I'm only on page 24. My hope was to finish this book by Sunday night. Don't know if that's doable anymore, but I feel like I got a lot of stuff done today and a lot of stuff accomplished, especially grading wise. As I said in an earlier clip, grading or first marking period is about to be over, so I have to get a lot of grades done. And I am also doing the Spook-a-thon Reading-thon for the TBR group, so I'm not as worried as not finishing my arcs. My reads that I wanted because I have another week. So yeah, so I'm gonna go take a quick shower, come back and start, and I will check back in. I might make this maybe a later reading night than normal. I actually have a lot of energy. So yeah, I'll check back in when I start reading, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts of Mind Games when I come back. Bye. Sorry here. I just wanted to do a quick update. It's about to be 11 o'clock. And I did make quite a bit of progress on Mind Games by Shannon Silver. I'm now on page 74, I would say. I'm really liking how this is a memory-based thriller. Memory and mind are always really interesting to me. Basically, it follows this girl named Arden, and she winds up selling memories. It's very, very, memories is a big thing. You can buy, sell, and preserve your memories. And one day she realizes about 7,000 memories have been taken from her. She's in the middle of a project and she can't remember the project she's working on, and it's her final project for her school year. And she realizes that she cannot remember the person, anything about her project, but also the person that she's working with. And it's a really compelling mystery. I really like her as a heroine. I think she's really interesting and I'm really loving this world. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to reading, and if I make a lot more progress, I will definitely check back in with you guys. But so far, I'm really liking it as the thriller that I chose. I just woke up. It is Sunday, October 20th, and I actually did get a bunch of work done yesterday, which is great. I did all my blog posts, did all my stuff for school, so that means that today I can really focus on my Instagram and on my YouTube channel, which is great because I really wanted to pre-film a bunch of videos for you guys. Sorry, I'm playing with my necklace that I got yesterday from Owl Crate. But I wanted to do a quick update and tell you guys that I did make a little bit more progress on Mind Games. I'm now on page 114. It is definitely a thriller. I would say it's more of a intense thriller than the other ones that I've been reading recently. But this society focuses on, sorry, this is very, very glary. This society focuses on memories. And at the start of this book, you realize that Arden, who her job is she sells memories to people, or she kidnaps memories and she gives them to other people. She realizes that she has no memory of the project she has spent 4 years working on. No idea who her partner is, and no one that she talks to has any idea what this project is. And she's supposed to present it for a competition at the end of the week. And she's starting to realize that it's a little bit more sinister than she thought. And now she's going through this process with this boy that she really doesn't know, and she's starting to get her memories back. It's a really compelling mystery. I've read a book previously called Mind Games by Kirsten White, which is totally different, but I'm really liking it. I think it's a very, very interesting, compelling mystery. I am going to dive back into this read as I walk to town, and when I come back from yoga, I will check back in and let you guys know how much I have read. Yes, today's the plan is to do some filming for my YouTube channel, do some posting for my Instagram, and then hopefully do some Christmas crafting and maybe even make my Christmas list because I've fallen a little bit farther behind. But that is the plan right now, and I will check in when I come home. Right here, I just got back from yoga, and I'm about to start prepping for Instagram this week and doing some YouTube stuff. But I did want to check in quickly and say that I did make a little bit more progress on Mind Games by Shannon Silver. I'm on page 170, which means I'm about 42% done with this book. I'm really enjoying it. One of my fears is having amnesia. So these characters keep getting like amnesia bouts because they keep having their memories taken from them, which is really, really creepy. And she kind of has to keep going back to see what she keeps forgetting. And I'm really liking it. I'm really curious to see who is going to be behind this. The main character, Arden, has one very specific theory, and I don't agree with her theory, so I'll be curious to see if I turn out to be right, like if my theory is right. But I'm really liking it. I'm liking how the book is structured. Like, you see this when she gets back a new memory. I'm really loving the world building. The world building in this book is so fascinating. Very, very compelling read. I also really like this cover. I don't know if this is the actual cover, but this is the cover of the arc that I got. But yeah, really enjoying it. So I'm going to go do a bunch of like prep stuff. I'm going to go to a thing from one of the podcasts that I listen to. They do like a slug club hangout every single day. It's Harry Potter themed, or every other week, I think. And I never get to go because I'm always at yoga. But I'm going to go today. And then I'm going to do some stuff. And hopefully I'll get to start working on Christmas crafts by 3. That's my plan of attack. But I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm just checking back in. It is 5:46 and I have finished all my crafting and organization ever. So I'm about to dive back in to Mind Games by Shannon Silver. This is the last prompt for the Spook-a-thon to read a thriller. I am on page 170 and this book ends on 306, so it's possible I may finish it tonight. I'm definitely going to try because I like to start a new readathon with a new book, but we will see. I'm drinking my hot chocolate, which it is very, very cold in my room. I think I've said this in a couple of videos. Very, very chilly. So yeah, I'm going to go dive in and watch some reading vlogs as I read and get a little bit motivated, and I will talk to you guys with the update in a little while. Hey guys, Lori here, just checking back in. I did wind up getting up to page 212 of Mind Games by Shannon Silver. I just grabbed a shower. I will admit, Arden in this book is not the most likable character. She's one of those characters that is sometimes hard to read from her point of view, but I do really like the twist in the story. There's some twist that you did not see coming, and I'm loving the world. The world in this book is such a highlight, and I'm really liking how this book is being crafted. I'm really curious to see what the end of this book is and who is the villain or who is like trying to sabotage Arden and Sebastian. Because I really don't know. I have like 2 warring opinions, so I'll be really, really curious to see where I go. But I'm definitely gonna finish this book tonight. So I'm gonna go back to reading, and I'll check back in when I get up to like when I have 50 more pages left in that book. Because right now I'm on page 212. So talk to you guys, and this book ends at 309. So about 100 pages left. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Here, I'm just checking back in. I did wind up getting up to page 228 in Mind Games, and I'm really liking the dynamics and what is being said about memory. I think it's super interesting, and the plot has taken some unexpected twists, which I'm really liking. But this is definitely a Swoon Reads pick, so that does have a very strong romance element, but it also does have a very strong world building element. And I'm really liking it. I'm really liking the character of Sebastian right now. I think he's really interesting. I perhaps prefer him to Arden a little bit, but I'm really intrigued. I'm intrigued to see how this book ends because I'm curious to see who is doing this to them and the real reason. But the project was super interesting. That way that what the project could do. So I'm gonna dive back in and read a little bit more, and I'll check back in when I'm done. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Lori here, I'm back. I just wanted to say that I did wind up finishing Mind Games by Shannon Silver, which means I did finished the Spook-a-thon, and I'm so excited. So, I wanted to say that I really did wind up enjoying this book. I would give this book 3.75 stars. I really liked the start of the book. I thought the world building was super strong. I thought the ending could have been a little bit clearer. There were some parts of it that just confused me. But overall, I really did like the world. I thought the world building was fascinating. I really did like the romance, and I liked the scientific questions that it answered about who makes a person, how is memory important. But I really did like the romance, and I thought that it was a solid thriller. So this was the book that I read for a thriller. It's definitely a YA thriller, and definitely with a science fiction twist. But I'd wind up giving this book 3.75 stars for review. Now, backtracking the other things that I read, the book that went with like a book with like a spooky setting was Winterwood by Shara Andre. This one I actually loved the setting. I really liked the characters. I really loved the dual point of view. I struggled with the plot twist because I kind of predicted it a little early, and I think that I really did love the setting and the characters. I think I preferred them to the characters in The Wicked Deep, but I love the plot in The Wicked Deep, and this one didn't. It just disappointed me a little bit because I wouldn't say disappointed me, but I predicted it like a little bit. So I wound up giving this book 4 stars. This was a book that I wound up reading just for kicks, but it was a mystery. It was a middle grade mystery. Followed these 2 characters that were on an adventure set in like a creepy little town, which I wound up really enjoying. But yeah, so this was another book that I found to be super interesting, and it was just fun. It was like a fun story. I wound up giving this book like 4 stars. And then the next book was one that fulfilled 2 challenges, and that was Tunnel of Boom by Victoria Schwab. This was the book, read a book with a spooky word in the title, and read a book with red on the cover. This was the second book in the Cassidy Blake series, or the City of Ghosts series. This book was set in Paris. Again, I really love the setting. I really love the characters. I wanted this world to go a little bit more in depth. Like, it's just a very, very surface level story. But I really did like the plot and the characters. And I felt that this plot was very, very fast paced. Like, I read through it in a pretty quick amount of time. And the last book that I read for this readathon was Mooncakes by Wendy Zhu and Suzanne Walker. And this fulfilled the challenge for books that I don't normally read because this is a graphic novel. I really wound up liking this book. I wound up giving this graphic novel 4 stars. So, for this Spook-a-thon, I ended up reading 5 books, which I was so excited about. Make sure you check out my TBR and Beyond reading challenge for next week, because it's also going to be a spooktacular readathon. But yeah, let me know if you participated in Spook-a-thon and what books did you wind up finishing, and I'll talk to you next week for another video. Bye.